to talk about anyway.
Here we are then with the recently crowned overall champ of the Southwest PCA, Mr. DB. Oh, shit. Yes, mate.
Got my
Well
first
done.
sword.
That's your first sword.
My first sword, yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice,
mate.
mate. You took the class. So you and me now are a model. Like I won it last year. You want it this year?
I've taken.
Oh,
I
yeah, you
like
did,
that. I
didn't
didn't know
you?
that. That's cool.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right.
I was
You
more
actually said
happy.
to me that, and you said, "I want." At the beginning of this year, maybe you said I would like to have a similar run as you.
Yeah,
So I won, and then I went to Universe and won. You're on track.
3 on the row, innit?
You're on track.
I didn't get the overall at the Mercia though. But
We'll go and get the overall at
Close
Universe.
enough. Yeah, but you beat the guy this weekend, so you could say.
oh, fucking easily. Like I was so off at the Mercia, it was unreal. I was totally waterlogged. Beyond that point, like that's like it's just kind of it was a show we didn't know we were doing. We loaded last second, just didn't give ourselves enough time to take the water off. But it was worth it because we learned from it. Then for this show, we learned more. Like we got the digestion right for the peak, and we got the loading right. It was just a timing issue. So for the men's tool class, I was still way off. So the pictures and videos of my posing routine and stuff, you'll see it. I look soft as shit. But then when you see me in the overalls, it's like I've dieted for 6 weeks.
What did you do for?
Go on, you go. Sorry.
Go on.
What happened from class win to overall? It's probably
That's what I was going to ask.
2-3 hours. 2-3 hours. So in
yeah.
that time, what did you do? Did you eat? Did you water? What did you do?
I didn't eat. Well, I had a cube of salmon and a square of dark chocolate, so I kept carbs out. So would drop more water off, but I need to retain fullness. And I had a lot of water take off. So what do you do when you take water off? Sweat. So I was going to the toilets every 10 minutes, busting out rounds of posing, round after round. Mate, I must have done like 20 rounds, or probably more, 20 rounds of posing, sweating it out. And then it was literally about 20 minutes before the overalls that Tom and Martin both looked at each other and said, right, he's on. We got it. Dried out nicely. It was actually about 2 hours off that I felt like I was at my driest because I gave it a good gap because I wanted to know for a timing issue so we can learn. And it was like for the overalls, considering I'm 5 weeks out, it was a really nice look for the overalls. I'd say it was pretty dominant.
Would you say that makes a difference? Obviously, the look was better, but I don't think that would have made a difference to you not winning. You would have still won.
No, Richard was hard, man. Richard, who was pro strength, hard and big.
Right. So I was thinking. So I was watching. You know the little videos that PTA put up. So I was thinking in my head. I was like, Dan's going to win overall. Before I'd even seen it, I was like, Dan should win overall. And then I saw, who did I see? What's his name? The guy beat the week before, 2 weeks before.
The classic guy.
Yeah. In my mind, I was like, nah, he's not good enough. It didn't look good enough. Him beating you at the Mercia show was clearly you being off rather than him being better than you.
Yeah, I want to pay respect to the guy because he was a lovely guy, Scouser.
He's really nice. Yeah.
So I don't want to whatever, but the feedback after Ryan said was he didn't win that show, you lost it. And what it was, so as you know in PCA, they don't like to do a lot of comparisons in the overall. It's one comparison generally, and then a move about and another. And they compared us quite a few times because it was a 1-point decision and they couldn't decide and they just could not. They wanted to give it to me, that Mercia, but they couldn't justify it. I won the shots, but condition just wasn't enough and he was sharper and it wouldn't have looked good on PCA if he'd had lost. And I agree, totally agree. So I deserve to, lose that.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah, if you come off, I do feel like you should be punished. It shouldn't be for potential. It should be how are you today?
Exactly.
What was the weight difference between Mercia and South and Exeter?
2 pounds.
Really? That's it.
Down.
2 pounds down. That's
because you lost about 8 pounds. That check-in that you sent me on Wednesday, I think that was when you come in and you'd lost 8 pounds, and these pictures were like sucked down.
Yeah, so we still figuring things out, the loading, we decided I don't need 2 days of harsh loading. I actually only really need one. But when you're in legit condition, that changes. When you are still 5 weeks out, you obviously have more body fat, and therefore you have more space for water to fill. So when you're eating carbohydrates, you probably can't push it as hard, and because you're going to spill over more evidently. Whereas when you're lean, you've got no body fat. There is no water for it to filter into. You know, it's going to go glycogen and triglyceride sites in the muscle. So that was probably the issue. We loaded a little bit too hard there and didn't take the water off for the Mercia. For the Southwest, yeah, we loaded hard, but we got digestion right. That was the main thing. Digestion sources were much better in terms of macronutrient and even like the protein sources and carb sources. And we.
How many carbs did you load in for the Southwest?
It was spread over 2 and a bit days. One day was about 1,200. Then the second day was 750. But the day before the 1,200, I had 2 carb meals in to introduce carbohydrates in a little bit, because so with my GI, what we've learned, and this was valuable as well, because I suffered my GI, as you know, with bloating and whatnot. So if I restrict food too much, what I will say is what I did between the Mercia and the Southwest is I just went 0 carb and went very, very low fats. I literally, all my meals were just 200 grams of chicken in a bowl, and that's it.
That's like my whole prep then.
Well, did that, and I dropped from 254 to 241 Thursday. It worked. It really did work. But then for some reason, I woke up on the Friday and I was 245. So I think my scales were playing up. So it might not have been 241.
Yeah, but that was that night that you put the 2 carb meals, because you sent me the pictures, and you were like, guess my weight, and I guessed, I said like 239, and you're like, nah, because we put two carb meals.
It looked it looked harder though, didn't it?
It did.
So that's why you said it. Yeah. So I agreed. But I guess my body, where I restricted carbs so much, was just a fucking sponge. So something we learned about my digestion, as I'm saying, before the main day of carb loading, we need to introduce carbohydrates slowly, very slowly, in a couple of meals the day before. So peristalsis, movement of the bowels, right? If your GI is empty for a long time, you'll know this from your prep when you were doing fuck all food. You have nausea, right? Because
we spoke about this, didn't we? Yeah, because you've got
So because you've got stomach acid and it's got nothing to break down. So it actually blunts your appetite, that you're not even fucking hungry. And part of this is then when you reintroduce big loads of carbohydrates, what does your body know what to do with it? It's like, fuck, shit. And especially on my appetite, my GI, that's very sensitive. And that would lead to harsh water rebound and GI issues.
I think that's just anyone. I mean, like I said, I put on 15 pounds in 2 days, 3 days. It's just normal. Because
you were on diuretics.
Post. We did diuretics after I gained the water to take the water off.
Oh,
but
okay.
Like I said, but I think also, because when you don't go down to 0 carb, and if you go down to 0 carb and then you put 800, 900, 1,000 carb, your body it's a lot more of a what the fuck than if you're, say, on 400 and you go up to 800.
Yeah, it can go either way with bodies. Sometimes you get a super compensation effect, but to get that, you need to be super fucking lean. If you've still got body fat, then I think you're more prone to that water rebound along with the carbohydrates, because it has to follow something. Because we know carbohydrates follows water, sodium, just water and sodium, and a few other things that can aid, but basically shuttling to the muscle. So if you've still got body fat, some of that water is going to go into fat storage, which blurs out lines and makes you look watery. So we reintroduced 2 carb meals the night before, carb loaded, fantastic carb load, hungry between each meal, digestion perfect, woke up great. We then put in 4 carb meals the day before, then finished off with 2 pro fat to start the drying out process. I would have personally, with how full I would have just stuck with 3, and I would have managed my time better and cut that off at earlier time to give myself a longer gap between separating that carb loading and then the drying out phase, because I finished my meal 4 at about 7 p.m., which is my fault, and that's a bit too late to start that drying out process. Hence why for the Southwest, I peaked at the overall, but I had to do a lot to get that water off still. Yeah, so basically did that. And then the morning of the Southwest, I didn't eat any carbs. Just, I don't like to eat on show day. I like to try and keep my stomach as flat as possible. But unfortunately, when I'm still holding water, a lot of that holds in my GI. So you'll notice sub-midsection control wasn't great, but I got away with it, I guess. I was actually, for the overall, there was glimpses of a physique that I've pictured in my mind. There was stuff going on, especially being compared to like Richard, who's a big bodybuilder, who's an awesome guy, but size-wise, it's nice to know that I'm a legit super, you know, in that way. That's filled me with a lot of confidence. In that way, now next time I get on stage in the class 1, I will probably be the thickest guy on stage, which is kind of what I've been working to. But now it's about bringing condition with that, which we think we're probably, with the right peak, another 12 pounds off my lowest, and carb up from there and peak it right. I think it'll be a very nice look, because if you look in the overalls, you will see from the back, there are videos don't show it, to be fair. I've got some ones in Telegram from Martin. You'll see like striations coming in through the glutes already, and that's obviously via water manipulation. So there is detail there. It's just showing it off. So part of that's peak, but then there has to be about 10 to 12 pounds of body fat to come off to allow that peak to be very, very successful.
So you're looking at about 230.
I want to be about 233 before carb load, and I'd like to end up about 239. So that'd be a nice look. I was 252 Southwest.
So looking at so go back to what I said earlier. I was watching the videos, and Rich, I thought, oh shit, he looks good. And the thing with Rich was he's got very, very dry legs. His lower body's very, very dry. His obliques are very dry as well. I think the thing that stood out the most between you both, specifically back thickness. When you turned around, it was like for me, that was like the fucking slam dunk.
Well, yeah, he definitely had a bit more dryness, but if I hit certain shots, like my ab and thigh, my thighs were fully striated down the outer sweep, serratus. But in terms of body parts, every body part on me was bigger.
No doubt. He's got a big frame, and he's got a big lat taper.
Yes.
But leg size isn't fantastic, but leg detail's good. But as I say, you from the back is like another level of thickness that not many dudes are going to be able to match, you know?
Yeah.
How do you think you would have looked had you gone into the show at that look on pre-carb up at 241, or even the 245 after the 2 carb meals?
I said on Wednesday, the Wednesday look, I said it would have been no discussion.
I was just, that's why I ask you, because like Ryan hasn't seen his pictures, but
I'll say when I did take off that fullness, when I did take off that water with the fullness, I've got some pictures no one's seen. It looked fucking cool.
At 245.
So because I'm not very confident in my own physique, but when I saw that side of me, I thought, Tom said it as well. He's already picked my song for my posing routine for the universe. He said Marcus Rule. It was pretty fucking cool to see that in my physique for the first time and actually be confident that I am a big bodybuilder, but now it's about dialing it in right.
Because that 241, that was, no, the 245.
But you don't know whether the amount of size, you don't know with the amount of size that I had in that overall was the overwhelming part of it, because that was the standout point. And I don't think by the time I fully dried out, I don't think the condition was any different to 245. The video doesn't show it properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's different staged check-in shots, I guess.
The only downside of it was the process in which I had to do to get that water off really fatigued my legs, and actually would have blurred some detail because I was posing so fucking much.
So
yeah,
what? Something I want to say to Chuck the other day. I feel like there is an obsession with fullness, right? In the modern bodybuilding game. Now, I believe in the pro ranks, if we're talking like elite of the elite, sure. But if we're talking like regional PCA and regional two bros, do we really need to worry too much about fullness? What's your take on that?
If you're legit pilled, it matters. And to be fair, in that specific show, I needed enough condition to get the nod, which I did, but it was fullness that it was the density that won the show.
Okay, so if you had came in without any of that, so you say Wednesday was before you started to load up. If you came in at 241 like you did on Wednesday, just rolled on in on that day, what would have happened?
I would have won still, yeah. But
so yeah, go.
But
can I show those pictures?
Yeah, of course.
Send it to me or put it on there.
But I will preface this: the only reason in my legs the lines look a little bit deeper in the overall. First of all, for the men's tool win, we didn't tan my legs properly. We fucked up, so that was that. But I was still holding water, and that's probably why. But the only reason for the men's overall, my legs weren't as separated as those pictures in 45s because the amount of posing I did. And I think
so. That's at 245.
Hold it.
Yeah, that's a lovely look. I like that. Legs don't look too flat either.
Yeah, it looks
really no, that's why I said when he sent me that, I thought that was actually that was like a.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Spin it slightly, Chad. Like
maybe that look.
You see that?
Yeah.
Maybe that look with some carbohydrates, and control it with a low dose of aldactone, and with me, a lot of that fullness that I have on stage, I get from super.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, but my glutes were more detailed than the overall. That's what I'm trying to say.
Could you say that's just lighting? Can that just be
It might be lighting and the dream tan.
Yeah.
Could be. You might be right.
So I think what I'm getting at is we and I say we collectively, the bodybuilding community, put a lot of emphasis towards heat, towards carb loads, towards blah 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 blah. And my argument would be, and do you know what, I'm not going to live and die by this. I'm not putting my fucking flag in, and that's it. What I'm saying is, do we really think that look is far, far, far superior than one that is not tampered with?
It depends on the physique. Sometimes you should not tamper with it. For sure. I agree. It depends on the physique. For me, I do need to be full, but it's landing that plane. It's a risk. But playing that risk, it's worth it if we get it right. And I do need to be full with my physique.
So, okay, that's a great point. There isn't a black and white answer. It's like it depends, right? The shades of grey. I know on my physique and Chubby, when you were flat, yeah, your best look. Now, every time I've ever looked my best on prep is when I'm completely fucking depleted and flat.
Yeah, you've said that before. And I agree. Your best look wasn't at that 2-bro show. It wasn't at all. No. I mean, compared to your universe, it wasn't great.
No,
but it wasn't. But
nope,
you were legit pilled for your universe, and I don't think you've seen the capabilities of your physique yet.
I agree,
because if you are that pilled like you were for the universe and you carb it up right and peak it right, I think you create a whole new dimension that you don't know exists in your physique.
So that's interesting to say. Universe, I was in legit condition. My carb load was over 4 days and it was 1,000 times 4.
I'm just going to say, what was the difference between the universe and your 2-bro carb up?
So universe was Sunday. We did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 400. No, sorry, 1,000. I did 1,000 every day.
Yeah.
And then on the day of, I probably had 3 carb meals, cream of rice, potato. Yeah. So
and for those 4 days of 1,000, you controlled the water repercussions with aldactone, right?
Yes. However, I lost weight in the first 3 days.
course you did. Because you're
So
taking.
yeah, I was actually getting lighter as the days were going on.
That's when you know you're pilled.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
And the reason why it was different for Two Bros, the start position was not the same. Right? So Sunday, 6 days out, I was legit in shape. Martin did a high day and 1,200 grams of carbs. Then he did one low day and then back into a load again.
but I've said this before. I've said this for Flat Tubo show. I don't think you were legit pilled ready for that at any point. I think you need another 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
Because mate,
Or,
for the
or
universe,
potentially
you were fucking pilled.
You were doing a lot of carb, a lot of
Beautiful.
refeeds, and a lot of not off plan meals, but like a lot of high calorie meals
He kept doing
on
high
the
days.
way up.
It was too many high days, and
Yeah.
and it led me to a point where my body was not primed to take on the food because I was not as depleted as I should have been.
Do you think because normally you and Martin start out like 7 weeks out, and you're like, right, 7 weeks out, there's that urgency. So you're like, right, let's fucking hammer it in. And this time you were like, yeah, I'm 12, 13 weeks out. I've got time. Let's try and, experiment with certain high days and that probably played a factor.
Well, you might agree with me or disagree with me, but as I said, that starting point for your peak for Two Bros is everything. And you were not. I know every show we want to be absolutely pilled for and whatnot, but that was not your pro qualifier. You were meant to be pilled for your pro qualifier, and then that peak is going to be similar to the universe. You bring that universe look to a pro qualifier, you are fucking competitive, right? If you bring that universe look to that show, I mean, I don't think you could beat Reese just because of shape and whatnot. Who was in second? Jamie. It would be between you and Jamie at that specific show.
I agree. This is exactly what I said. I said, even at my best, even if I came 110%, like I haven't got Reese. I haven't got him.
Yeah. He was just so good.
He is just so good. Yeah.
So
but I agree.
What I'm saying is for the Two Bros show, there was no way of bringing that universe look without another few weeks of dieting.
I see that.
That's what it is. And you doing the universe?
No.
Oh, I want to see it.
No, I'm not doing it, man. So you're right. You're right. And you know what it is, man? Maybe I'm a baby. Maybe I'm a fucking baby, and I don't mind admitting it. But Martin, I don't know if you know why I took it quite badly. The reason why I took it badly is because Martin went on to Callum's podcast the next day. Do you watch his podcast?
Yeah, the pro coach one. Yeah,
they did a roundup, and I'm not going to go into detail. They did a roundup, and basically Martin forgot about me, and it was a bit of a mug off. It was a bit of a public mug off, and I thought to myself, anyway, not to go into too much detail. Then I called him out on it, and he fucking didn't apologize. He didn't acknowledge his mistakes. He didn't, and it was just so. I just thought fuck off, and it just threw me off. To be honest with you. So
that's a personal thing to you that you took offense to and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah. How I mean, and we all can say in retrospect how we react to certain situations. We can always say in retrospect, maybe that's not the best way to react. But I know that you're an emotional person. You have emotional reactions, which whatever it is. And in hindsight, I bet you wish you didn't react like that, and you could have kept a bit more zen for sure. I felt like, regardless of all that not being mentioned and whatnot, whatever that is what it is. I felt like for the show, for the Two Bros show, for the condition you actually couldn't have been better without another 3 weeks dieting. I would have liked to have seen it.
Yeah,
and you weren't meant to be peeled for that show.
So the original plan was Germany on the 16th.
I know, because I know it was.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it in the group. Yeah.
So
that's 3 weeks later.
Do you think you could have in that time been in a spot, the same kind of spot you were pre-universe, that peeled to then peak properly?
I think without question.
Yeah. Well, only you know. I mean, that's why I'm asking you, man.
when it's worded like this and everything's calm, I'm like, oh fuck.
Regards to actual peak, I'll stand by this. I don't think Martin did anything wrong. I think for the situation and the look that would have been rewarded, that was the best that it actually could have been. But what would have been better if it was your main show is being in legit condition to then peak from that point. Then we have a totally different conversation.
That's interesting, right? So the reason why I wouldn't agree with it is because me and Martin had conversations between one another basically the whole time, obviously, and we agreed that I would come in at my absolute best then, and it wasn't my best. I was quite washed out.
Why would you come in at your best when you're planning 4 shows?
I'd only planned 2.
Yeah,
I genuinely I work off of like momentum and confidence, and coming in at my best at that moment was very important to me.
Yeah, but you see, last year when because you want Telford, was it the first show that you done?
FitX first show, Manchester.
No, you did the PCA one, didn't you?
PCA was second.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was FitX, and 1 week later it was PCA Southwest.
So that's what I mean, because for those shows you were not legit peeled.
No, there was still a bit of time.
Good. They're good to get on stage and get that momentum and go on further to be
exactly.
Legit. Yeah,
but I will say this: if you look at my shape on those shows, I was the best for that moment. Whereas 2 Bros, I was just off.
It's more just the caliber of guys you were going up against. I think like at those at the Exeter show, you went up against like I can't remember, Johnny Reed and like guys that they're good, but they're not Josh Law.
Yeah, but I did the comparison. I showed you a comparison, didn't I, the other day?
Yeah, but was that the Universe? That was the Universe.
No. That was Southwest.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I mean, admittedly, your PCA looked better.
I don't know if you can see that.
And we got to that is definitely better, but we've also got to remember that the PCA lighting is fucking beautiful. Yes. And a lot of the 2 Bros shows are fucking wank.
Oh, these 2 Bros, yeah.
You know, you're right, and we can go back and forth on this. But like I'm telling you now, I've got when you look at the photo on my phone as opposed to uploaded, there's a dramatic difference in the you know the clarity.
I mean, I was at both shows because I saw you at Exeter last year, and
I think one of the other things that really bothered me is like both of you. By the way, I barely spoke to you at 2 Bros, which was a big cut. Sorry about that. And I thought I was in a bit of a rush, but a lot of you.
I was exactly the same at the Southwest with so many people last week.
Yeah.
I knew I was off for the men's tour and I had so much to do between that and the overall to get it right. So I was like,
that's it, man. I saw you by the entrance and it was a bit like, hello, goodbye. And I felt like, but it was there was a load of you in the audience. There was like probably 20, 30 people that I'm like pretty fucking friendly with. And I was embarrassed, to be honest with you, because it was just so far from what I could have done, you know. And as I say, rightly or wrongly, I'm an emotional character, as you just mentioned, and I work off of confidence, and that just fucked me up. It did.
Yeah, I do honestly think though, as part of that is a combination that you were not in legit shape for that show, and you weren't meant to be.
Yep.
And those boys are fucking good. Like, I couldn't step on stage with any of you. Like,
yeah, that was some big boys.
Yeah, like I know Josh wasn't happy with his look either, but he also he really gave me a lot of confidence in the way that he said, "No, I'm not in shape for it," because I tried giving him a brownie after the show, he wouldn't take it, and I respected it because he said, "Look, no, I wasn't in shape for the show, but I wasn't meant to be. See me in 2 weeks." And what do you know? In 2 weeks, he was real fucking lean. I couldn't believe it. And
he dropped like 8 kilos or something like that.
Yeah, he said to me, now you're going to be in the same situation, because I was in my head thinking I'm about to do shows where my glutes are not going to be in. I've never had that before, and it was worrying to me. But he said, mate, betterment of the end goal. Your universe is in 6 weeks. Your physique and super heavy physiques if you hold that condition for that amount of time, your fullness and muscles will fuck off. And I know with your physique as well, being a taller guy, that is especially true. It must be.
Not 100%. But I think it's like the physique fades because being in the deficit for an extended period of time, but it's about those latter stages, you know, where training goes a little bit to shit. You know, you're getting by, but you're not breaking you ground any stretch. Your sleep's fucked, and over time, it shows.
I think training is a massive factor.
Yeah,
I found that towards like the last couple of weeks where I was doing so much cardio, so many steps that training was just like going for the motions, and then your physique just doesn't look the same.
you feel guilty when you're like, you know, when you go into a session and you don't hit it like you know you should. You feel guilt.
Yeah.
Do you feel
But
that?
I think it massively translates into your look, because if you don't train like as hard, because you just can't, you haven't got the energy, it translates in that look.
Before the Two Bros show, Ryan, what was your training like?
Of full capacity, like full capacity, probably 50%.
Really?
Yeah, because when I truly think about it, strength was actually higher than normal. I was fucking strong, and I still am.
I had that too, yeah.
My strength
But
is,
that's because of all the orals and all the stuff that we use. And all of us, we're naturally quite strong, so it's not strength. It's not always the factor, is it? You know. And I bet you were probably strong for like the first exercise, and then from there on, it's downhill.
yes.
Yeah, that was me as well.
I died very, very fast in the session.
I was going to say I was assuming that your strength was very good still, just based on the facts that you were not yet in your peeled condition. Because I know for me right now, my training and my strength is still fucking like it's unreal, and I have to be because of it, and that's only because I'm not in shape yet.
Yeah,
you don't think that's down to all the stuff that we don't take in the off season, like the halo and like a lot of the stuff like the trend?
No. For me, it's sleep and just biofeedback that deteriorates my training. It's sure the orals have to help, but for me, it's body fat.
100%.
And probably body weight, because you know when you're 280 and you've got that kind of like you've got a lot more leverage to like leverage the weight.
I'll be honest. There were certain sessions that I honestly, I can say it now. I don't mind saying it. I glitched out a little bit. Right? You know the idea of bracing hard when you're fucked. The idea of like a bent over row or a fucking or a deep squat, and you've got a fucking brace into your belt, and you fucking. I was like, I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. So there's a couple of sessions where I was just like, I'll do some more leg extension.
Did you watch? I don't know if you watched it, but do you ever watch Dennis James's podcast, the Menace podcast?
Yeah.
When he had Dorian and Milos on, and they were arguing about training. Dorian was talking about training in those last stages of prep, and he said if he had one regret, it would have been to actually back off in those last few weeks, the 5 weeks out. And that would have retained more tissue. So I think if you're honest with yourself and you know you're coming in shape, and that takes an experienced eye to know, you would know when to back off purposely. Whereas with a lot of clients, I can't tell them to back off purposely because they're already backing off because they're soft.
Right, I get you. So that's a funny one because you're drilled into like what built the muscle retains the muscle, right? However, there's a point of diminished returns, and then you start putting yourself into a metaphorical hole, right? And you start pushing yourself. And I feel like I got to that point in the final probably 10 days, and I kind of took my foot off the gas a tiny bit with like certain back movements and certain leg movements. To be honest with you, probably one or two sessions of both. So 2 leg sessions, 2 back sessions. I was like,
Well, I purposely, between the Mercia and the Southwest, I purposely backed off and started leaving a rep or two in reserve. My body responded fantastically. Now I'm 5 weeks out. I am going to failure, but not past, not with force reps or anything like that. About 3 weeks out this time, I'm going to start leaving a rep in reserve.
And remove like set intensifiers, drop techs, or anything like that.
Already done that. Already done that. I know at that point, look, all you got to do is stimulate at that point, in my opinion.
So what about total volume?
Total volume is going to
like be weekly volume.
Yeah, so total volume is dependent on really what you can recover from, and that's where you're at. If your body fat's low, that's all you.
But I'm talking you specifically. You, what have you done to your total weekly volume?
It's come down very, very slightly. But in that peak week for the Southwest, I purposely use depletion workouts with reps in reserve. So with lesser intensity, I can actually take a little bit more volume, but my whole goal was to come away from the session without DOMs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not proper training, it's stimulation, and it's empty the tank, prepare for carb load.
Mm-hmm. What did you, Bradley, what about you? Did you find yourself in the latter stages, bringing down volume on purpose?
I mean, no, my training was again like like I said, it was the fact that my cardio was so high, my steps were so high, I just felt fat, just had no energy. But when it came to training, I was strong. I was really fucking strong. But remember, I was nowhere near in shape, so it doesn't translate. It doesn't matter. But it's all relative, isn't it? So for me, like I had to take off another 10, like fuck knows how much more. But it was more. My training suffered from the fact that I was doing so much activity. My expenditure was so high that's what caused it to suffer. But I mean, no, I was still hack squatting like 6 plates aside, no problem. It's just the fact that after that one first exercise, I just died down, and at that point, it was kind of just like going for the motion at all.
So I watched this thing the other day. Jay Cutler talking about how he favors, instead of doing like training and cardio, he'd rather just do 2 training. I don't know if you have you heard him talk about that?
Yeah.
Day training.
So basically, instead of cardio, fuck cardio, just train more.
My only problem with that is again, it comes down to whether you can recover from it. And that's the same with cardio. But you got to remember, when you're working a muscle, part of keeping a muscle there is feeding it. If you're not feeding it, what's your body's excuse to keep it? Because you're already low in body fat. What do we have loads of? We have loads of muscle. What are we going to fuck off?
Your body doesn't want to keep hold of the muscle. It wants to preferentially get rid of it.
I don't think a resistance training session, like say, I don't know, let's say you do back in the morning and biceps at night or like wherever. I don't think that bicep session is going to burn as many calories as your cardio session.
I guess there's what's it called? What's the abbreviation? EPOC.
Yeah, but that's nowhere near that. That's not really that significant, is it?
Well, I guess it depends on the type of workout, right? So Dan, to go on to what you said about it depends on recovery capability. So if you were to adjust volume and adjust intensity of sets, then it's probably viable.
It's all possible. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
It's all possible. It's not like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. It depends whether you can recover from it. Literally that. You could train 3 times a day and do 2 sets on 3 of those sessions. You recover from it. Sweet.
Good to go. Yeah.
But
I think mentally it's hard to get yourself psyched up for 2 sessions, especially when you're in that state. You barely can like handle one, and you just think, oh fuck me, I got to train. Let alone,
yeah, yeah, you know, when you get to that stage of prep where you're on the sofa and you're like, fuck, and you've got to force yourself.
I'm simple. 1 session. I'm training 4 days a week at the minute. 1 session. Get it right, regardless of volume, so you can recover between session to session. Don't tax your CNS at this point, and take the dog out for the walk and do your cardio. But not to the extremes of what Dave did. There's extremes of every level. And
how much cardio you want at this point now? Or what was your peak of cardio? How much cardio did you do?
21 minutes.
Really?
I do 21 because those fuckers are doing 20. 21 minutes of cardio and 14K steps, but it's just 21 minutes of cardio now and 10K steps. Just while I'm doing pro fat for 3 days to just shift the water retention off the backdrop of the diuretic usage.
So you also said 4 sessions a week. So how is that working out in terms of frequency of hitting each part?
So do you want me to tell me?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. My split, because I literally just sent it to my training partner. Right. So for this week, it's been like this anyway. Tuesday, so today was legs, which is quad bias. Then Wednesday is like a chest bias push session. But I add a little bit of biceps, just like 1 or 2 sets, just to put some blood flow in there and stimulate. Friday is back and hamstrings, but again, hamstrings only need 2 sets. So total weekly.
You take 2 days off.
3 days off, 4 days a week training.
No, so you said Tuesday and then you went on to Friday.
Oh, so no, it's Tuesday legs, Wednesday push chest bias.
Oh, okay.
Thursday rest. Friday back and hamstrings. But I don't need a lot of volume for my back, so I don't tax it. I use that as an ability to basically keep my CNS kind of relaxed so I can sleep and shit. Saturday rest, Sunday delts and arms. But there will be a couple of movements that cross over with my chest, like either like a narrow grip barbell press or a dip. So within each of those sessions, there is an overlap of every body part, somewhat shape or form. So legs, I've got some hamstrings in there. Friday, my back and hamstring session, I've got hamstrings in there, but I also have 1 set of quads, which is just either like a belt squat, so I'm not lower back loading, which is higher rep, just to put some blood and stimulate and like wake the muscle up, get an NPS response. Literally all it is. And then for delts and arms, you're getting stimulation, delts, which you get in your push session as well, and you're getting arm stimulation from training arms, you get arm stimulation from your other push session as well. So there's overlapping there. The volume is very distributed, so I can recover between each and every, but you're getting a bout of NPS each session for the overlapping muscles, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I understand. So on that note, then again, looking at your physique on stage, like seeing not quite the finished article, but somewhat close to, what are you unhappy with, if at all, anything? And I'm talking development. I'm not talking condition. Development.
It goes without saying that I've got a quad injury that I'm hiding with my posing, which my left sweep has gone due to that injury in December. When you go straight into prep, you haven't got a chance to rebuild it, because most of prep I was rehabbing my quad. It's at full capacity now, but you can't really grow that tissue back when you're doing zero.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is it? I'd say from the back, my legs have definitely got better, but they're still not filled out in comparison to my upper half of my back. My glutes are very developed, so that's not a problem, and they look even bigger when they get peeled. So that's not an issue, but it's just, legs from the back, leg thickness from the back, filling in the gaps. But that's only a reflection of where my back is.
I was just about to say, I think it's just because your back's so developed, your hamstrings just kind of fall behind. Not the fact that they're small, it's just that your back is just so fucking massive. It's just a bit like Ryan. Ryan's like back is huge, so obviously the rest of it just comes same as your like upper half, like your delts overpower your quads. So
yeah, and it's not so much a body part as such, but midsection wise, if I'm still holding body fat and I'm still holding water, I hold water in my GI, so midsection control becomes very hard. But I know for the universe, if all the fat is off, there is less capability for GI water storage. So midsection control should be better. I'm going to be able to pull vacuums. So
I thought your midsection looked really good at finals.
Yeah, it got better because I took water retention off.
See, this is an interesting one. We actually spoke about it several times. Doing mock carb loads, like trial runs for a peak, are less and less relevant the further out you are because of what you just said.
Yeah,
So yeah, so you're like you'll do a trial run 4 weeks out with someone. You remember, Chad, we told you it's quite in depth.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we've taken some data this week.
We chat with Craig about that.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, you have taken data, but also with a pinch of salt because what's relevant now may not be. You know,
the only data that is relevant, I feel, I might be missing something out and I'm just not thinking of it. But for me, the only data from those high days was digestion sources.
was that like when do you remember in the group you said that you chose certain sources that played up? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
like bagels, sourdough bread, and then
Right.
and we did, and for the Southwest peak, we did none of that, and my digestion was bloody perfect.
What sources were you using?
Um, so it was cream of rice and whey, but sparingly, and a banana in there, raspberries, good. Majority though, bassa and white rice, jasmine rice.
And on the day of the show, you say pretty much nothing.
I didn't need anything because I was still holding water. So at that point, if you need to just keep your body alive because you've got diuretics in the system, you're going to need something to hold it, and that's low protein because you want to keep the volume low. So like 50 gram of chicken or 50 gram of bassa or 50 gram of salmon, something like that, and maybe a square of dark chocolate. That's my go-to. But if you are needing some food on show day, then I typically like to do that very early in the morning to give that time to get through your system and actually be there as available as glycogen and filled out. Because I see people put a big meal in pre-stage, they don't realize that's sitting in your stomach and that is not yet being shuttled and being used as muscle fullness and glycogen.
All that does is make closing hard.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that could be very useful is light snacky stuff like a squares bar or some rice cake or something like that, but not within like half hour, 45 minutes a stage. That's more so just to keep the body alive, than actually give them more fullness.
That's what you said to me, didn't you? You were like, just eat a square of dark chocolate. That's
that
it.
was just keeping the body alive because I knew you'd use diuretics at that point.
Yeah.
You see so many people pre-stage shoveling in loads of food, especially, I don't know if you notice this as well. This is just like anecdotally. I see a lot of dudes who are like at most 90 kilos shoveling in food. Like, and you're like, bro, like what are you expecting that to do? Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think's happening there? You know?
Roly Winkler was a very well known case for this. Like 5 minutes before stage, you'll be eating a Mars bar. Like, mate.
What's that going to do? All that's going to do is make you sweat. You're just going to sweat. Yeah, I see. As I say, like it's a trend from like guys who say like not holding much body weight and they're like shoveling in rice cakes, peanut butter, whatever the fuck. You're like, my advice for all competitors watching this: low fiber, low protein, and minimal carbs or relative to you, and carbohydrates that are ideally lower volume, potentially higher sugar, but only if you've been used to it. If you're not used to it in your prep and then you just randomly chuck it in, you're sort of playing with fire again. So it has to be foods that you're comfortable with and low volume.
Yeah, so what we learned from Mercia to Southwest was we're using sugary sauces topped up. So generally you have a solid sauce like rice, but if you're topping with extra sugars, jams do not work for me. They make me more watery. I don't know why, but they do. But honey, fine.
So again, though, it's something that you had trialed throughout your prep. You sort of knew what was going to give you a certain response.
Yeah.
Whereas some people, it blows my mind that this is still a thing. But all prep, you've been eating X, Y, Z, and then the day of, something fucking random.
Yeah.
What the hell? What? It just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Look, so my sources that we use, my carbo, what we've been using. What I would say is the best meal for me digestionally to carb up on was white fish. It was only 150 grams as well. It wasn't high protein. 150 grams of whitefish, so like bassa, because it's not too fishy either smell wise. Or if we need extra fats, salmon, and jasmine rice. Mash it up, and it goes down phenomenally. And I didn't do vegetables either.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Very, very good.
I always try and keep, it's again, it's just a volume.
Yeah, and
On that, on them depletion days, what was your digestion like? Because for me, I had an issue. Like I hadn't gone for a shit for about 4 days on prior, like after we'd carved up, and imagine like all these carbs, and I hadn't gone. And on the morning off, I still hadn't gone. Louis was like, "Do a triple shot of espresso." I did that, didn't do fuck all. On the way there, he goes, "Do another one." So we stopped off at Costa, got another one. Fuck all.
Well, this is what I talk about peristalsis.
Yeah.
Slow introduction of carbs, get your body aware of it first, and then you'll get a good reaction. But it's also how
I
you
was so bunged up, like 4 days. 4 days I hadn't gone.
it
Only
also,
after the show.
it's also how you lead up into that. That's very, very important. Your sodium should be very consistent. Like I'm 2 grams to the dot every meal. And then in that depletion week, whilst you are, say, doing just pro fats, your water needs to be higher. Your water definitely needs to be higher, and that will help your bowel movements for sure.
Well, my water was at like 11 liters, but still. The trouble was I was holding it. I was not pissing. I was like,
Well, but also throughout your prep, you weren't big on veg at all, were you? So your fiber sources were low.
oh, I didn't eat any veg.
Do you think that had a knock-on effect over time?
I
Because
don't know.
I'm right in saying you used a fiber product, right? But no ingested fiber from food.
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't do any veg. That was just what we it was just what we done. So it could have been. I don't know. I mean, I keep my veg quite high and quite consistent in normal phases. I'm always like adding spinach and all sorts. So
in that scenario, what I would have done would earlier on, I would have trialed how we can get your bowels moving, and it would have been for me, Digest Max once a day. Strom's product's very good.
it was that's what I was using.
Yeah,
And I was using a full scoop, and I thought maybe I'm using too much. So I started half, no difference. I was using magnesium, no difference.
What magnesium?
Magnesium citrate.
Yeah, see, that's okay. Did you? I mean, from there, then it's aloe vera juice. That's what I would have tried from there, but it's interesting.
I would have just done it manually.
Yeah.
I would have just got a glove. Got a glove
and we spoke about this as well. For like on average, I would go once every 4 days, and it would be like dry as fuck. It would be like the worst.
One every 4 days.
We spoke about this, and I said to you, like,
I know.
I asked you, what should I do?
It does happen sometimes. There's nothing you can do about it because
yeah,
I can hand it out. Say it's never happened to me. Obviously, it's obviously not something I'm prone to.
You're like, I don't know, because it's never happened to me. I've never had that problem.
Yeah, in my whole life, even pre-bodybuilding, I've never been that.
No, I never normally do, but obviously this time. But I guess when it's just protein and you've got no roughage to kind of move things along.
I thought you had fat. I thought you had some decent fats in there. You didn't have any fats.
No, we were doing like 10 fat.
Oh, well, maybe an oil would have worked.
Well, that's what I mean. I was about to say some
olive, some olive oil,
sesame, or almond
maybe.
butter.
But my fats were like on those zero carb days were like basically trace, so like 2 grams of fat per meal coming from the chicken. So
I would have kept some fats in there. You're going to deplete off protein fat, like no matter what, because you've got no carbohydrates going in.
Yeah.
The goal of that is not to deplete body weight down; it's to deplete glycogen storage.
Yeah, I guess in hindsight, maybe protein, like a protein source with the drizzle of oil, 10 mil of oil, something like that.
Yeah, and I should have probably kept some veg in. I probably should have kept some veg in.
Yeah, something nice and light, some asparagus, perhaps.
Yeah,
spinach. Kale.
Yeah.
But again, man, it's a learning curve, and you'll be better next time. That's
it. What was your water and salt like leading up?
Very, very bang on the money. Very bang on the money. I'm very. You probably get it. I'm very like. I've got my notes on my phone, my diet, and every meal is timed, and my water intake's timed, and I track it. as I go throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I have the same bottle.
I do bottles. Yeah, I buy bottles and that.
This is
I
1 litre, and every 250 ml is marked out on there. I don't know if you see the
Right.
pieces on the side. And every time I've done a litre, I write it down, and it's done between each meal.
Yeah.
And then I've got kind of a standardization process that I know this works. Where you can't be just freehanding it. You've got to know what combination of things work for you.
I tell you what, as well, you know, when you're trying to manage large quantities of water with a carb load, it can become a problem. So it's a job. It's
Well,
a
that
job.
time, Dan, remember you had one of your high days and you're like, actually, my midsection is bloated because I didn't drink as much water.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one thing I did on a carb load. Water was through the roof.
Yeah.
Well, not through the roof. It was 1.5 liters more than usual, and it was perfect. But my cream of rice meals, I would really take the piss with the volume.
Yeah.
Like a bar with it to help that along, and it would make me shit.
Yeah.
Would you when you let me rephrase that? Do you count the water within the cream of rice as water in your day, or is it extra?
No, I don't. But if it's on show day and you're limiting fluid intake, then you would make it a brick.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Well, show day, wouldn't you just keep?
Don't even bother with it.
To sources not like cream of rice, but just like rice cakes, dry carbs, basically.
Or just accept that the water is in it, and just account for it.
I mean, and if you are using aldactone like you were, we know water intake needs to remain, because otherwise you will flatten out like a pancake.
What, Ryan or me?
Anyone.
Or anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone. Yeah. Sodium water needs to be in there when you're using aldactone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, to talk about, have you seen anyone, or are you aware of anyone that's doing the universe that you see as a threat? How do you see the universe playing out for you?
Craig's in my class and Chris is in my class. Richard's in the medium.
Richard,
guy I competed against in the weekend who owns Pro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He'll be very good. I've been talking to him, and he's saying, yeah, 5 weeks, like we're both going to be peeled. Like we're really friendly now. He's such a lovely guy, lovely guy. He's going to be absolutely peeled for the universe. He was already very hard and lean for the Exeter show, but to me, he needs to do that. But he needs to retain fullness, because that's what lost him the show. Was that?
I can interject there. I don't know if that's necessarily true. What lost in the show was he was out muscled by you.
I was going to say like size.
Well, I mean,
and that's no knock on him, by the way. If you watch this, it's no knock on him. I just think there was a size difference.
He said the same. It was a clear size difference, yeah. But it's funny because I looked at him backstage and I thought, fuck me, he's big. And I thought, well, this is my calling card and I can't even play it. But then when you see the pictures and videos, I was like, okay, maybe not.
Isn't it weird? You know, when you look down at yourself, you don't look, and then you see a photo and you're like, what the hell?
I just saw his big old mate. I just saw his big old hamstrings and glutes, and I thought, I'm fucked.
No. So how do you see it going against you, Chris, and Craig?
Right. So Chris, he is going to be peeled. We know that. He will be dry. He will be peeled, and he'll be Pete Wright. Matty Bulmer, he's got it right with him before. He'll get it right again. They've worked that out. They've got a good relationship. They see each other very regularly. He will be that. So that is that. Craig will be peeled. He will be very, 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 very lean. He will be very good from the front in terms of the amount of space he takes up on stage. He's got a lot of new muscle as well, so that's going to be very impressive. For me to win, I already know I'm going to be thicker than both of them. That goes without saying. I know I am. And that's not being big-headed. That's just a fact.
Dan, I ask you, man. I want you to be honest, for sure.
No, I am. That's what I'm saying. I'm being honest. But where they could potentially expose me is that if I don't hit that with condition. So I need to. I'm not going to. I don't know yet. We'll see. But if I can bring the size I've got with the condition, even if it's 3% off their 5% off their condition, I win.
I genuinely think that look, and I tell you what, me and Ryan have a bet, which we're not going to disclose here, but we've got because we always like bet on shit. So me and Ryan have a bet on who's going to win the universe. I genuinely think because I've seen because maybe it's not so fair because you don't get to see the pictures.
What I will preface.
Sorry, Dad. What I will say is that none of you have seen Craig in person like me.
No,
Craig in person. I promise you, is different.
That's what I was going to say. Preface. I've never seen Craig in person. I've seen pictures. What I get, and just from knowing bodybuilding, is when you have a physique like that, it does look different in pictures. He takes up a lot of space.
Correct.
He will take up more space than me, but he will not be thicker than me. There's a difference. Structure, then there's density. So from the front, Craig can beat me. Not in the most muscular, but he can beat me in the front double. He can beat me in the front relaxed. When we turn to the side and the back, that's where I dominate in that.
Well, look at the poses, right? The front. I think you take the front lat.
Again, that also comes down that if we nail the peak and get all the water retention off and I'm dry, that means no water is held in my GI. I still had water in my GI in that front lat where you can see in the overall.
Sure.
My waist can get a lot smaller.
I think
Craig's front lat is very good as well.
But it is, but I think the lats is like, I think let's just say we give it to Dan and the side tricep. Let's say we give Craig the front double.
That this all pertains on. Let's say I do hit condition. Let's say we're all in the same condition. We're all peeled because I will be peeled. I promise you that I will be peeled. It's if I can do so and retain fullness in my legs. Yeah, that's what it hangs on. That really is what it hangs on, honestly.
So what your take on it was really good, actually, really accurate. I think Craig occupies more space than you and Chris, but is he thicker? That's up for debate. I'll give you that. Craig from the front.
I think from behind.
Yes. So Craig from the front. The thing with Craig is from the front is he's very sharp. Like the detail for his legs is really, really sharp. But Craig from the back is where you can take him. Right.
I personally think I'm thicker even from the front. I'm thicker, but structurally from the front, that's where he will expose me. From the side,
I agree with that as well. From
the side, I win. Again, thickness, side.
I'm going to need to get your side chest up a minute.
I'll send one to you now. From stage.
Yeah, send over.
I really like the one from that.
Have you got my number?
No. Can you? I'll send it to Dave, and then.
Yeah. The one. Yeah, go on, Chad. Say again.
Don't put your number on a podcast.
See, I still stand by that. That 100 and that 245. Look, that was really good. I think had you gone like that on stage, that would have been.
I was just about to say the only problem with my side chest at the southwest,
the cramp.
So I in the men's tool, my hamstring cramped, and you'll see in my posing video at PCA post up, I couldn't pose. My right hamstring cramped, and that meant when I went into my side chest, even at the overall, it wasn't relaxed. I couldn't get it hang like it usually does. That's the only thing. But I'll send over a side chest.
So pre-carb up on a Thursday. That's the look on a third on.
You send that to me, Chad. Send it over to me on WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, yeah.
No, that's just the one he sent me on back then. Have you sent me any more?
I'm sending over a quarter as well.
And that's on Friday, right? That's on Friday.
Right, that's a quarter turn, and that's from the quarter I've just sent you is from the men's tool, so I wasn't even dried out yet. And that's my shit quarter that looks skinny.
Oh, I've got that picture.
Yeah.
Tom Price as well. That's my mate. He's been my mate for a long time.
He was lovely.
Yeah, Tom's awesome. Is
that the guy with those huge delts?
Yeah, delts, bro.
Yeah.
I've been friends with him for 8-9 years.
Yeah, he was lovely. It's just sent you side try.
So yeah, that looks legit.
That's why.
Well, the reason why I say this is because I know your thickness from. I want to see your thickness on your side leg. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I'm going to send it over, but all I'm saying is that it's not a true reflection of my hamstring because it was tight as fuck. But it's
I'll
still,
send you Ryan. I'll send you Ryan's number.
I'm just sending it over, mate. 1 minute.
What I'll do is I'll send you Ryan's number so you've got it.
Yeah.
I'm on your Facebook now.
No,
So,
I've just sent him your number. That's
I'm looking at it right now. Joe Bastic uploaded.
Oh, my mum.
Your mum, Mummy Bear.
Mumsy.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sending you over a side chest.
Hold on.
Yeah, looks great. Oh, Rachel looks great there. I don't know. Fuck.
Even that, my hamstring drops a lot lower than that.
You look thick.
It almost looks like you were trying to flex it.
Well, because it is, because it's under tension.
Because it was cramping, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one, right? I'm gonna be transparent with you. This is what me and Chadley were speaking about. There you go. Got it. So there you go.
Well, I sent you the pictures, Ryan.
To send all the side shots to you.
Oh yeah, man. Look amazing. Your core tones are very, very good as well. So, full transparency, what we're talking about. I said Craig can beat you from the lower.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I said you can beat him from the back and from the front. That's up for debate. He takes up more space in terms of structure. You are thicker. So
you might he'll probably take the front relaxed.
I don't know. It's hard to call really.
Just because basing it off your front relaxed.
Oh, front relaxed. He fucking shits.
Basing it off your front relaxed, Ryan. Yeah, your front relaxed is like it's one of those shots that's like a calling shot where you're like, even on that 2-bro stage, you looked the biggest.
Yeah, it's funny. I look arguably bigger than Josh. Even
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's when you're taller, that's gonna expose a shorter guy.
Sure.
But like the ab and thigh, for example, I think Dan, you got a really good ab and thigh. I'm just basing it off like most of the shots.
Dan, your level of thickness, specifically in your upper body, is pretty absurd. I'll be honest with you.
That's what I mean. There's pertains on my legs, and that's where Craig can beat me. Again, this is just an honest conversation. And
yeah.
Look, if I can beat Craig, that is a massive. Just like it's like you beating Jim. To me, that's because I respect Craig that much. His physique, I think it's fucking wicked.
Yeah, Craig's very good.
You know. Yeah. And the fact that he's a lot older, so he's got a lot more density.
Well, what?
Not density.
No, I know
like
no,
like muscle, like.
No. So Craig's been doing it longer. I wouldn't say he's more dense.
Agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I'm saying because he's older, so he's got more like.
For my age, I've got a lot of maturity.
For sure.
I agree. I think for your age, I don't think any of us have been as thick as you for your age. It's I when I was 26, 27. You're 26, Dan?
26, yes.
When I was 26, yeah. Be sure I didn't know that. It's an interesting matchup, and Chris as well. To say Chris is like the in between you both. So he hasn't got the same structure as Craig, and he hasn't got your thickness. He comes in peeled, and he's got some extremely good body parts.
Just sent you over a couple more, mate. Problem is, these pictures as well are taken from the left side, and the left side is my quad that's fucked off.
Is that your better top upper though?
No, my right side's all my better.
Very interesting, mate. Very interesting.
But can you see about the that's why I disagree on the muscle maturity thing.
Oh, I don't
everything
think that.
else.
I don't think that Craig's got more dense muscle than you. I
No,
don't.
no, not dense muscle. It's more, old muscle. You know what I mean? I don't want to call him old, but you know what I mean?
That's something that all the judges have said about my physique. They can't believe how mature the muscle looks like in terms of the that what people say, like Dorian, they have to be there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've
I'm
seen it.
saying the granite, the muscle, it does not look soft.
Oh no, not at all.
I'll
No. I wasn't saying that. It's more. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like obviously when you're older, typically you tend to have a different look.
Yeah, what I will say is that I lack striations in places because of pinning.
So, for example, his quads. I think that the reason they look like how like they've got so much detail is because of the fact that he's just done it longer. If that makes sense.
Well, and he's got better quads than me.
It could just be
No, but
genetic as well.
I think that's what I mean by the maturity. The fact that, like, for example, like the way Ryan's striate in the way the Ryans are like separate. Ours can't do that because we're still 25, 26. So I think no matter how lean you get, I don't think they can get like that. So that's kind of what I mean by the maturity of the muscle.
It's an interesting one to think about. I guess sometimes it's just down to your genetic structure, right? Yeah. So, okay, think about two guys on the Olympia stage. Let's get two up. Hardy versus Bonac. Right, very
Derek,
different.
Like take Derek, because that's exactly what I mean. Like Derek's a lot younger.
So Derek is arguably fuller, but Hardy has that. There's a density to his muscle that, and would you say it's just time drain?
In a way, that thickness, but like
so when I say density, it's a hardness.
Yeah, it's like a almost transparent kind of.
Yes,
that's what I mean. So when you look at Craig's quads, they just have a different look. Like you've been training him a lot longer.
In the lower body, he will be more grainy than me. He will. I know he will because he's got more muscle there and it's maturer. But my upper body, maturity of my upper body is different to my lower.
I think you'll surprise yourself. I think your quads would look bigger than you expect come next to him because he's just so tall. So by yourself, I mean, you can look like when you're stood by yourself, that could look different.
It's going to be fucking interesting to see. So as I say, what I said about Chris as well, he's the in-between between you both, I believe.
Yeah.
He comes in peeled and he's got incredibly good body parts, but he's not as dense as you and he's not as structurally sound as Craig. I don't know how that's even going to fit in the mix. I have no idea.
He might peak right and be more peeled than all of us, and that's the look.
Yeah.
And he's got.
Or
you could have someone from like, I don't know,
some random dude
turn up and smoke everyone.
Yeah, me and Craig said that. I saw him yesterday, and he's just like, you're like trying to work out who's going to win, and then just some random dude just like, nah, no.
Last year at the Two Bros, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Chris has also got some lovely sweep on his quads.
Yes.
It's got quite a narrow waist as well. That helps the quads.
Yeah. And the chest thickness is fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Fucking good, mate. Very, very good.
I
honestly can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Just as a spectator, I can't wait to see it.
I've sent over a load of pictures. You see what I mean? But it's going to be interesting because, look, I'm always going to root for myself, but it needs to be landed right. And I feel like those boys don't need to land it perfect to beat me. I need to land it perfect to beat them.
Well, I don't know. I think for Craig, I think all of you need to be on because all of you are going to be on. Like
I feel like if Craig is a little bit off, no, out of everyone, if I'm off, I'll be the one who suffers the most. So say if I'm 5% off, I will suffer more than any of the other boys if they're 5% off.
I don't know, because I think you can outmuscle. You've got that on your side. That because you can just outmuscle a lot of people, and you're in decent enough shape that you can.
Yeah, you are 5% off condition, but with your thickness, it's still very, very.
Because you can outmuscle everyone.
Sure.
But with 5% less condition, I don't have those deep lines up to my hip. That's the pertaining thing. And Craig, they are all the way up to the hip and they're deep.
Yeah.
I think you're just too focused on one body part, though. There's more to a complete physique than just the quads.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
It's fun to talk about, but I mean,
Do we know anyone else that's doing it?
Not in my class in the tool, but there's going to be some guys from other countries and whatnot.
I mean, last year's was stacked, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've just made this.
what's that?
What?
I'll send it over to you both. This is the closest we'll ever get to each other. I just had to scroll back through the PCA page. I sent it to you as well, Chad. Yeah, just as a spectator, I can't
What's
wait
that
to
on
watch.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, what's that?
We have look, you're obviously in shape here, so your muscle graininess is going to be more than mine at this point. But we have very, very different shapes.
Yes.
In the way that we're both actually upper body dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Both have that, especially from the back. But structurally, I'm more compact. You're structurally bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a similar comparison, I feel, to me and Craig.
Do you know what? It's funny because my strength is actually my weakness, right? Hear me out. My strength is my clavicle width. It makes me so wide up top. I'm pretty much wider than everyone I compete against ever. Right?
Yeah,
but it works against me. Yeah, it makes my legs seem more narrow. It makes my chest seem flatter. It's like fuck.
So what a lot of people don't actually realize is I've got wide clavicles. I'm actually wide on the shoulder, but I do have that much thickness that I've filled it out across my top line quite well.
Yeah, you're so trap dominant as well.
Well, yeah, not from the front.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at that photo of you and I, look at like how it looks like you've been compressed, and therefore it makes you deeper. Does that make sense? It looks like you've been pushed this way, so you've gone this way. You look deeper than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but as well, you have to be that wide because you're that much taller.
Yeah.
Because if you're not that much wide, you look fucking odd.
Like a pencil.
Yeah, it would be really odd. Yeah.
I actually couldn't even.
Yeah, go
on.
I don't even know what I was going to say.
What is it? 4 weeks, is it?
Yes. End of May, innit? End of May.
5 weeks.
Can't wait. Just as a spectator, honestly, I cannot wait. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we'll go and watch it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%.
I guarantee you, like, whatever happens with the peak, like, I can't control. But in terms of me going into the peak, I'll be on.
I have no doubt. You've come off Instagram as well. So do you find that it just, like, it takes away from, what do you what's that?
More so, mate, is because when you're in prep, you have only so much social energy. And I have clients, and I don't feel it's fair to my clients and my partner if part of my social energy is being taken up by people that are not paying me money or paying me love.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
So
We're lucky to be able to have you on the podcast.
No, I say to guys like, Ryan, you've only just got my number, but I say to guys, look, I am off Instagram, I'm on Facebook. That's why I added you guys on Facebook as well. So I post updates on there. My personal friends have me on Facebook, and I post updates on there because I don't get DMs. I don't get loads of back and forths. I don't get any. And you guys have my WhatsApp.
Yeah.
That you're the people that matter to me. Like, I said this in the bottom of my post. Sanjay, who's asking me, oh, how do I lean bulk? It does nothing to me. Like, it sounds fucking like I don't want to help people, but I don't. I actually don't. I only want to help my clients. Sounds terrible.
No, it doesn't. No. In fact, I find it quite disrespectful that someone would just inbox out of the blue and expect you to go on.
And disrespectful to your paying clients, because I find that really because someone like they'll expect like shit for free, and you're like, people pay me for this shit.
Well, that, and you know how picky I am with my clients as well. There's a reason for that. It's because I fucking love working with them, and my communication with them doesn't take up social energy to me. But well, it does to a point. It does to a point because you're in prep and you're low energy and whatnot. But it's not like going back and forth with someone you can't fucking stand. And when it's somebody you don't know, you don't actually know, it's energy, isn't it? It's not, it doesn't pay me anything. It doesn't, you know, when I could give an extra 10% to a client that I fucking love, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
That, and you know, apart from the endless scrolling, it just takes up loads of time as well. Like, I've got shit to do.
Yeah, man, you find yourself just like, yeah, like you've wasted like half hour on, you're like, what the fuck just happened? Well, I didn't do anything. Why did I do that?
I'm a little bit worried that after the universe, I won't ever go back.
Yeah,
but you're never massively like that much on Instagram. You're not like some people are like fucking making stories and shit all the time. You know, you were never that big on that on Instagram, you know?
No, but you know, what I will say is it's very, very nice to not be on there.
Do you know what? In an alternate universe where I didn't make money from it, it would be nice to not be on it. For sure.
Do you know what? My coaching applications are still filling out, even me not in it.
That's an interesting one.
When you were in prep and you look good and you win, you're always gonna get, you know.
Yeah, there's a massive influx. My business has been busier than ever this year, off the back of prep and stuff. So it just tends to happen that way, doesn't it? You prep and you just get this massive, like you're sort of like a magnet, you know.
But I don't really respect that. Why is it different to me being in off season and me being in prep and me being in shape?
Because I find, I don't know if you find, I find that I post way more. So just naturally by numbers, I'm seen by more people, and people are drawn in by you know, abs and.
But to me,
I barely posted in prep because I just didn't want to talk to people about it.
You didn't, did you? No, that's true.
No, because I didn't want to speak about it. I didn't want people to be like, oh, when is the show? Or people that know me even now, when is the show? Couple of weeks.
And mate, you're right, and that's part of it. I'll get DMs from the same people that are clearly very invested in my journey, and I really do appreciate that. But also, I'm consumed by prep all day. I don't need to be talking about it to multiple other people as well. Like I was having this conversation with Tom like the other day, because we apart from our check-ins, we don't talk about bodybuilding. It's because we're both coaches, and our whole fucking day is consumed by it. We're bored by it.
Definitely. I get that.
Like I am more than a bodybuilder as well.
Yep, I get that. I will be honest, though, mate. You're, the way that you're coming across right now is like you would never know that you just want to know Raw on the weekend. Like you're very level. You're very
mentally sound.
Yes.
I'm only happy about winning the overall because one, it was my first. Two, I did it in front of my loved ones, like my partner. It meant a lot to me for her to see that. Everything good I've done, she's been something to do with it. Like when I pulled that deadlift, she was there screaming for me. Then there's that video I posted of me on stage in the overall. Did you hear who was screaming for me? I had Tom there, I had Martin there, I had Mana there. Nat was screaming, who let a bus on stage and shit like that. Like it was just fucking awesome to have that and do that in front of them, then take the sword and have that moment with my people. That it was a euphoria that you know what it feels like, right? When you won the universe and you know you've done all that, you've got Amy there who watched you fucking do that, all that prep, and then you're the fucking man who just took that whole show. Nothing like it to do it in front of your people. And like little things like Mana, like I had a day off plan yesterday, which by the way I was shit at. I didn't eat anything really. She got me a muffin, right? Got me a blueberry muffin, which I felt kind of guilty about eating, but I ate it because she got it for me and it was lovely. And she got me a card just to say like how proud she is of me and like how I motivate her and whatnot. Because as a man, you want your spouse, your woman, that you want them to feel that way about you, and it drives you like nothing else. And it's exactly the same for me in terms of her. When she's doing her thing, like, fuck me, it motivates me. Like, she gets crazy fucking pilled. She has none of this like bitchy dieting, like, you know how some people could be divas. She just gets the fuck on with it. She's an animal. That drives me. I can't show weakness. She says she's hungry.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear you. And the same with having obviously my partner, Amy. Fucking, so it's just like.
But mate, what is that feeling like when you get off stage with your sword and you have her on stage with you or whatever, and you get that first hug? How emotional does that feel?
Unreal. It's so I won the overall at FitX, and then 7 days later I won the overall at PCA, and then 3 weeks later I won the Universe. So within 28 days I'd had all that. It was just like, fuck, it was so much.
At that point, to your loved ones, and that's who that is. They are the people that matter, the people that support you. You are the fucking man.
100%, bro. And no one actually knows this. Amy knows this. One time I was driving, just down the road, like just local to here. I was driving, and we just on the Universe, and I started to get like teary. And if anyone knows me personally, I'm not really a teary kind of guy. I'm not really someone who's like, I'm not. And I was just driving, and I started to feel. I felt, I don't know. It was like overwhelming. And it was what you're describing is the pride. Yeah,
mate. Like, I got off stage and obviously got all the pictures of my loved ones on stage, whatnot. I absolutely fine. But as soon as I had this moment alone in the corridor backstage with Mana, I burst out crying in a hug.
Yeah,
because I finally, it's that I've got her to myself, and I'm in that safe space where this is my person that I look up to, and I want that in return as well. And it's at that point you're allowed to let that out.
You also become a lot like emotionless in prep as well, because you're just like tunnel vision. So like literally anything can happen. You're like, yeah, I don't really care. Like, and then at that point when it's done, you're like, it just almost like it just something just lifted.
Yeah, that's it. You're clinical, and then all of a sudden, as Andrew said, like you're allowed to feel something, and it just hits you. It just hits you.
Well, going on the whole emotional thing, that's actually something that I haven't really got cold at all. Like, sex drive still fucking banging, like still night before the show, everything like that. And I do have to go because she is standing there naked, and I'm, yes.
You what right now?
Oh yes.
Go and get it done. Go and get it done.
I'm getting in the bath.
Oh, she's getting in the bath. False hopes.
Hey, the fact that you're still thinking about it, fuck me. I think at 8 weeks out, I was like,
that was because of your cardio and your food, man. Like, Dan's not been nice, been a bit more measured, so you know what I mean?
Oh, I think in the last 8 weeks, maybe like twice at most.
But anyway, on that note, then we're less full time. It's been an hour and a half, so yeah.
That's probably our shortest podcast as well with Dan on.
I had visions of it going to like 10 p.m.
No, man. Off season, that would be.
For sure, mate. But Dan, thank you for coming on, mate. And honestly, really fucking well done, mate. You look absolutely unreal, mate. You're doing us all proud.
For the overall, I saw glimpses. For the Universe, hopefully we see the kind of the picture I've got in my head, and whatever will be, because at the end of the day, it's bodybuilding. It's about myself, and yeah, I want to win that overall. I want to win that sword. I fucking do. I want it more than anything. But I can't control what those other boys look like. Craig and Chris are fantastic bodybuilders. If I lose to them, fucking fair play. All I want to do is bring my best.
Yeah, man, and I'm sure you will. And I say the same.
You already have in a way, that what you brought last weekend. So you can only get better as well.
Yeah,
that is your best.
Conditioning wise, that's not even close to what I can get to. So
no, but in relative to what you what you've done before.
It's
that
your best
is
so far. It's your best
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Very true. Very
You're,
true.
you're gonna take some beating, mate. I mean, you know, I said this to Craig. Craig's a very close friend of mine. But I can't wait. Absolutely buzzing for you. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
fucking good.
and I'm sure Craig's gonna watch this and gonna send a fire up his arse, and I hope it does.
I hope
Same
so,
with-
mate. Hope so.
Same with
like
Chris.
Craig's like such a good bodybuilder as well. It's not
Yeah.
like, you know, he's won so much. He's a great bodybuilder. So
That's why, mate, I've got so much respect for him.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, it's gonna be a fucking battle, mate, and I can't wait for it. So let's fucking do that shit. Well, thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Got another fucking podcast
Awesome.
straight after this as well.
Have you?
Oh, because with Riz and Hilly, we didn't do it last night, deck. So I'm literally on again straight after.
It's the graveyard shift for you, bro. Fuck me.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
catch you later,
All right.
boys.
Catch you in a bit.
Lads.